Lady Lovibond. This is a story about love, unreturned, and murder.
On February 13th, 1998, thousands of people gathered along the coast near the Goodwin Sands. Boats waited offshore, all just to catch a glimpse of the Lady Lovibond, a ship that had unsettled people for more than 2 centuries. But that night, nothing emerged from the fog. So why did so many people show up for a ship that never arrived? And more importantly, what was this ship? And why did people believe it would return at all? This is the complete story of the Lady Lovibond, a ship lost in 1748, yet reported again and again for over 200 years. Always on the same night, in the same place. Sometimes with people seen moving on deck. Let's get into it. The lost ship. In the early days of long sea journeys, ships crossed oceans without engines, radios, or weather forecasts. One such ship was a 3-masted schooner called the Lady Lovibond. It set sail on the 13th of February, 1748, leaving England and heading for Portugal. The journey was supposed to be calm and joyful. The ship was strong and ready for the sea, and nothing seemed dangerous at the start. The ship was under the command of Captain Simon Reed. On board with him were experienced sailors who knew the sea well. There was also a passenger who made the journey unusual for its time. Captain Reed brought his young wife, Annette, on the trip as part of their honeymoon. At the time, sailors believed having a woman on board was bad luck. Some crew members felt uneasy, but the ship still left as planned. As the journey began, the sea was calm. The sails were full, and the ship moved smoothly through the water. The crew followed a known route that many ships had taken before. There were no reports of storms or mechanical problems. Eventually, the ship neared the Goodwin Sands, a dangerous stretch of shallow sandbanks off the English coast. The area was infamous. While it could be crossed safely with care, a single mistake could send a ship to its doom. That night, something went horribly wrong. For reasons never fully explained, the ship suddenly changed course. Instead of steering away from danger, it rushed straight toward the sands. Impact was violent. The hull tore open, water flooded in, and chaos followed. Within minutes, the Lady Lovibond was breaking apart and sinking beneath the waves. No one survived to explain what had happened. Within hours, the sea closed over the wreck. By morning, nothing remained on the surface. The Lady Lovibond was gone, and with it, every answer. The silent years. After the night of February 13th, 1748, the sea slowly returned to its familiar rhythm. Waves rolled in and pulled back again. The tides rose and fell as they always had. Near the Goodwin Sands, the water looked calm and unchanged, giving no sign that a ship had been destroyed there only hours before. The Lady Lovibond disappeared beneath the surface. At first, people searched. Ships passing through the area kept watch. Sailors talked to each other in ports along the coast of England. Some believed pieces of the boat might wash ashore. As months turned into years, the story slowly faded. Records were filed away. New ships were built. The loss of the Lady Lovibond became just one of many sea accidents in an age when ships were often lost without warning. Life moved on, and the ocean kept its silence. Then, something strange happened. In 1798, exactly 50 years after the ship sank, sailors near the Goodwin Sands reported seeing a 3-masted schooner moving through the fog. It looked old-fashioned, with sails from another time. Some said they heard voices and music. When they went closer, the ship vanished. No wreck was found. No damage was reported. In 1898, local sailors and coastal workers reported seeing the same phantom vessel in the same waters, always on the same date. In 1948, a witness described the ship as being surrounded by an unnatural green glow, drifting silently before fading into the fog. By 1998, the story of the Lady Lovibond had become so well known that crowds gathered along the coast, waiting to see whether the ghost ship would appear again. This time, nothing happened. The sea remained calm and empty. For 277 years, the Lady Lovibond existed only in memory, the impossible return. On February 13, 1798, ships moving near the Goodwin Sands noticed something strange in the distance. Out of the fog came a three-masted schooner, sailing fast and steady. It looked old, like a ship from another century. The crew of the coastal trading ship Eldridge watched it closely. As it came nearer, they noticed the sails were raised properly, and the deck did not look damaged. This was not a wreck drifting without control. Then came the most disturbing detail. The captain of the Eldridge later said he could hear sounds coming from the ship. Voices, laughter, what sounded like a celebration. It was as if people were alive and moving on board. The ship showed no signs of panic or damage. It sailed as if nothing had ever happened to it. Before anyone could react, the schooner vanished. Exactly 50 years later, on February 13, 1848, fishermen near the same area reported seeing a ship rise out of the mist and rush toward the sands. They saw figures on the deck. Believing a crash was imminent, they hurried to help. But when they reached the spot, the sea was empty again. No survivors, no damage, only calm water. The pattern continued. In 1898, witnesses once again claimed they saw the ship. In 1948, a man described the schooner surrounded by a strange green glow before it faded into fog, and each time it vanished without leaving proof. For 277 years, from 1748 onward, the Lady Lovibond refused to stay buried in the past. People believed they saw crew members standing on deck. Some swore they heard voices. Others said the ship moved with purpose, not like a ghost drifting without control. Still, no physical evidence was ever recovered. So, if so many people claim to see the same ship in the same place on the same date, were they all mistaken? Or was the Lady Lovibond trying to return for a reason no one understands? The unanswered questions. Even after centuries, the story of the Lady Lovibond remains unresolved. Some believe the sightings were simple mistakes. Fog can bend light, and tired sailors can misread shapes at sea. Old ships sometimes resemble newer ones from a distance. In this view, the repeated dates were only chance, and the rest grew with each retelling. Others point to records and timing. The reports often match February 13th and the Goodwin Sands. Witnesses who had never met described the same three masts and the same approach to the sands. For a coincidence to repeat for so long, many find it hard to accept. There are also ideas based on human behavior. A tragedy can stay alive in memory when it is retold across generations. Each new sailor may have learned the story before taking to the water. When fog rolled in, the mind could finish the picture. What felt real then became real forever. No single idea explains every detail, and so the Lady Lovibond remains where it has always been, lost in history. For more than 2 centuries, Lady Lovibond has refused to fade away. No wreck has been found. No final answer has been proven. All that remains are sightings, dates, and silence. So what do you think about these sightings? Were they real encounters, or just illusions shaped by fog, fear, and old myths? Drop your thoughts about this in the comments below. If you found this video fascinating, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Also, Consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already, because we'll be uploading more incredible stories like this one in the coming weeks. Until then, see ya.